gnarly. Why not put a child in danger at the horror novella? No service out here, no Wi-Fi. Hello everyone, my name's Asa. I'm a horror writer living in Mexico City. Today I am leaving Mexico City for several days to see how far I can get on a new horror novella. So I'm going to a friend's cabin, which I know is not creepy, and I'm going to use that as a setting. And then I have some brainstorming ideas to get me going. And then I'm just going to black out and write for 3.5 days, see how far I can get. My goal is to get to at least a midpoint, a very, very rough midpoint of a novella. And I'm just feeling crazy optimistic. But anyway, I'm here with Hugo. Hi, Hugo. And the two of us, we're headed to the hills. It's going to be a great time regardless. Thanks for tuning in. Made it to Tepoztlán. I got in okay. I had a nice meal. I got this beautiful fire going. Hugo is comfortable, the prince, on the couch. And before I go to sleep tonight, I want to do a little brainstorming exercise so that when I get up tomorrow to try to write this sprint, I am as best prepared as possible. So I came up with this fun little game using a deck of cards. And the idea is that each of the 4 suits represents parts of my story. So one of them is protagonist, one of them the inciting incident, one of them is the midpoint, and one of them is the ending. And so these are all horror specific, right? So horror specific endings, horror specific protagonists, horror specific midpoints, etc. The goal is to give myself some kind of jump start and see if that can help me, kind of like a brainstorming exercise or kind of like a prompt in a creative writing class. So let's go through it. Scorpions up here, so I'm looking for them so I don't get bit. It happened to me last time. Good morning. It is Sunday morning. I made myself some delicious local coffee. I am very excited to get going today because after last night, as you know, I am totally dialed in. I have my setting, this beautiful but potentially scary cabin. I have my protagonist. I have my inciting incident, my midpoint. I'm kind of dialed in. I have a bit of a spine. And so my game plan today is to put in a sort of full morning here. My typical morning is to start with about 30 minutes of free writing on a legal pad. It's a variation of the morning pages. And then I take a quick stretch, push-up break, and then I do another hour, right? Rounding out to about an hour, 30 minutes. Take a break, do 50 minutes, take a break, do another 50 minutes. If this sounds like one of those systems, it kind of is. I've studied a bunch of them and kind of made one that worked for me. So that's how that big routine goes. So that's gonna be my morning here. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping maybe 3,000 words. I think that's realistic. My head is down. Like I said, there's no distractions here. And that'll bring us to about lunch, which I'm very excited about. Have a very delicious meal ahead of me, and so that's some incentive. Anyway, let's see how this goes. Hello everyone. I feel like a broadcaster. Anyway, okay, it's well into the afternoon. It's almost 4 o'clock. We're at 28,000 characters. I don't know how many words that is. My license with Scrivener is up. I don't have internet, and I'm using an app notepad, and I can't find out how to do the word count on it, so we're gonna find out how much that is. My beautiful lunch that I had planned, I forgot a couple of ingredients, so I think I'm gonna go into town and get those so I can make that tomorrow. It's going pretty good. When you write this much, I think it's hard not to kind of doubt what you're doing, and it's hard not to just kind of, okay, keep going, don't think too much, don't look at what you wrote. I think the exercise helped last night, kind of getting some ideas. Of course, I've naturally departed from a lot of that already. And I feel pretty good about it. I'm almost a little worried that listening to The Mist by Stephen King, I listened to almost 2 hours of it on the way here, is kind of just like, his voice, writing voice is just like, but I'm also just not going to stress that right now. This is for fun. This is to see what I can come up with. I can rewrite it a million times. And last but not least, I came up with a code name for this project, calling it Project Fever, after Fever Dream, Samantha Schweblin's novella. It's my favorite horror novella, so I'm calling this Project Fever to see where that gets me. All right, I made it into town. I am in Tepoztlán. I just ordered a huarache. Actually, no, I ordered 2 tacos, dos tacos de cecina. They didn't have huaraches, they were out. Anyway, so I still have energy, so I'm still gonna keep going. So I'm moving back to kind of my legal pad way. We'll see how that goes. See if I can kind of brainstorm about what I wrote today. Anyway, I'm so hungry, and I'm just gonna eat. So let's eat first. So good. It's just so good. Yeah, so I'm kind of actually like weirdly optimistic. Now, when I finished earlier, a few hours ago, I was kind of like, oh my God, what am I dumping? But now that I kind of look at what I've got in my head and I think about the kind of broad strokes, I'm like, okay, I think there's actually something here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, pretty happy about how this first day went. And obviously very happy about dinner. Probably the last check-in of the night. I've got my note cards here. I'm gonna start doing some kind of high-level concepting, kind of thinking about log lines, thinking about the elevator pitch for what this show might be, just so I kind of have a sense of what I'm looking at in the macro, so that when I go in tomorrow, I kind of like, I don't know, can kind of feel the bigger picture. Anyway, I feel really good about this first day. It's really good to be out here in the woods with the fire, taking it easy. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
No, he said. I shrugged. Okay.
And we're back. Good morning. 9:15, day 2. Well, the second full day, and I am so excited to get back to this project. Had a nice little breakfast, a coffee. I'm wide awake. It's still early, and I'm ready to go. I realized that I forgot to take you all on a tour of this cabin, which has, in fact, proven inspirational. One particular thing in general is making a large appearance in this new project, so I can't wait to show you that. But first things first, we're going to write. When I was in town yesterday, I Googled how many words is 28,000 characters, and that actually is more than 5,000 words. So we're off to a great start. I have this magical target, 28,000 characters, which I can go for again today. We're going to do so in the same basic kind of way. 90 minutes, 50 minutes, 50 minutes, the beginning of the day, more kind of analog-y, outline-y, legal pad-y, long-formy, and then we get down to the words. So that is the game plan. Aesthetically, I am trying to go a little bit more towards a kind of realistic horror, a little bit less away from the supernatural. I found myself kind of falling into kind of some familiar or kind of easy tropes and storylines yesterday, and I caught myself being like, oh, okay, you're sort of like laying out beats that you know. So I'm gonna try to force myself today to get into a little bit more quotidian type stuff that's really scary. I really like the kind of thesis, implausible but possible, when talking about horror. This is like super weird and probably wouldn't happen, but like could, and it's really creepy. So that's what I'm kind of gonna go for today, with a little bit more attention. You know, the other like thought that I thought was worth sharing that I had in the last couple days was, it's just so crazy how when you start writing, you always find that you have something to say, which is sort of obvious, but you know, it's like I came up with this brainstorming thing. I felt like I haven't really written hard in a long time, and I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to, like, you know, keep going. And that activity super helped. But it's amazing how once you get going, like, there's these things you've been meaning to write about that, like, all of a sudden pop up, and you're like, oh, okay, I actually have a lot to write about. This has been wanting to have my attention for some time. And yeah, so that's just been really cool. The endless well is there. Anyway, that's my morning update. I'll see you in the afternoon. Hello, we did it. I hit 60,000 characters, which I think is 10,000 words. That was my goal for the end of today. I'm feeling good about the piece. I'm feeling really good. I left off going into a scene so I know right where I'm going to be starting for tomorrow or tonight, whenever I get back into it, and I'm feeling great. So I'm gonna have some lunch, and then while there's still some light, I want to take you around the cabin and show you some of the things that inspired me for the story, some of these little details that I grabbed. And then tonight, I might go back into Tepoztlán. The way the story is going is that we started here and then we went into the town, and so I kind of want to go and do a little bit of research, some scene research to kind of get some inspiration there in town. So stay tuned. This is the good stuff right here, people. I really believe in buying really good tuna. It's worth it. Alright, so as promised, I'm going to take you around the grounds a little bit. That's one of the dogs who lives here, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I kind of let percolate as I was writing the last couple days, and they made their way into the story. So part of the reason why I came out here was to provide myself with a setting for a story so that that part of the process was handled and it delivered. Here are some of the things that I was really into. We can start with the plants. So there are amazing plants on this property, and before long, plants, plant life, creaturey things from the ground quickly became part of this story, and you can see things like this moss right on this tree is just the kind of rich, amazing little detail that I can describe in depth, all these little kind of tentacle-like things growing around. So one of the many things with the nature. This is a seed pod, or it was a seed pod, or it's some kind of growth. I was talking to some of the neighbors here, and they explained to me that there is a pestilence, some kind of plague afflicting the trees here, and you can see here that this gnarly growth is a result of that pestilence. So this definitely made it in. I haven't used this ladder yet, but we're still here a day. This looks kind of fun. I don't know what's possible. Child. Why not put a child in danger at the horror novella that takes place in the cabin, in the woods? Here we go. It's all writing itself. Okay, one more day out here in Tepoztlán. What an amazing few days it has been with you all. I can't believe it. I am so grateful to have had this time, this space to clear my head. Like I said, there's been no service out here, no Wi-Fi. Truly a gift to be away, to be apart. I have a family, a young child, and I feel so lucky to have a partner who could help create this space for me. This time, feeling very, very blessed to be out here right now. I discovered that 60,000 characters is more than 10,000 words. There's some kind of 30,000 characters, 5,000 words. Hi, dog. This is one of the ranch pooches here. So we're on a roll. We've hit 10,000 words. When I began this challenge, I set out to hit the midpoint of a novella, or 15,000 words. And as I continue working on it, the structure is unfolding. I'm not sure. Maybe I've hit the midpoint, and then, oh, hello. I'll end up going and building out some of those earlier scenes, but there's also a kind of climax-esque scene coming, which, as we know, the midpoint can often feel like a climax. So we'll see. First and foremost, I'm really just trying to get more words on the page today. It's nice and early. It's 9 o'clock, and I don't have to get out of here by 11 or some such. And so I really think I'm hopeful that I can continue on in this trend. One thing I did was I kind of left halfway in a scene yesterday. I kind of know where I'm going next, which is a classic Hemingway move. He always talked about kind of stopping when you had a little bit of momentum. So we'll see how that goes today. And yeah, I'll be checking back in a few hours. I'm going to do my same kind of marathon here of roughly 4 hours of writing with breaks in between. And so by the time I loop back, it'll probably be a bit later. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. If you've made it this far, now would be a great time to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Still trying to get some momentum, still trying to get my name and my face and my life, my vibe out there in this authortube space, so I'd love your support. Anyway, I'm going to write, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, I have a confession. I totally fell asleep. My plan of staying inside where it was cozy completely backfired. Completely. I made it 30 mere minutes and stopped writing and fell asleep. Ugh. Anyway, so now it's all the way to 11 o'clock, and I do have to be out of here around 4, so I'm feeling the clock a little bit to try to get to this goal. It's just a goal, it's just a number, but I find these things are useful, especially when I've designated time like this. I want to make the most of them. So I'm going to go outside, back where it was sunny, swap out the tea for coffee again, and try to rally. Let's see. All right, it is Tuesday afternoon. It's almost 4 o'clock. It's almost time to go home. It's been an amazing trip. I hit 88,000 characters, which every time I say it, I know that sounds ridiculous. I think that's somewhere around 15,000 words, and I'm really, really pleased with how this went. It's been a great test of my morning routine, which I documented here. You can go check that out. And I just found a groove. I really think the no internet, no Wi-Fi, no cell definitely helps, obviously. But honestly, I think so just having a story, I think listening to a Stephen King book at the same time really gave me a sense of pace. If you have any horror recs, put them in the comments. Next week for Christmas and the holiday, I'm going to the beach. I will be vlogging, so subscribe if you haven't so you catch that. Writing and waves, no salt in the camera. Yeah, till next time.